Welcome to a mini deep dive today. We're going to be focusing in on the world of vTiger developers.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to try to take on the most common questions that people have about finding and hiring a good vTiger developer, and we're going
Mm.
to do it all in like 10 minutes.
Because let's face it, going through all those developer profiles and like all the technical stuff can be a real pain, especially if you need your CRM stuff figured out like now.
Totally. Theperfectdeveloper.com can really help you cut through all that. It's like a shortcut to finding the perfect developer, someone who not only knows vTiger really well, but also really understands what your business needs.
Oh, and speaking of shortcuts, if you want to skip the headache entirely, you can actually just go to theperfectdeveloper.com and answer like 5 quick questions about what you need, and then they do all the hard work.
Yeah, 5 quick questions, and you're on your way.
Okay, so let's dig in a little bit more here. What exactly makes vTiger developers different from just your like average web developer? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just about the coding, right?
You're right. It's so much more than just coding. It's about having a deep understanding of how businesses use CRM in the first place, and then knowing how to customize vTiger to fit into specific ways that people work, and like how to make it all fit nicely with all the other tech that companies are already using.
So it's like they're CRM architects building stuff from the ground up to fix real business problems.
Yeah, exactly. Like imagine you have a company that's really focused on sales, and they use a lot of email marketing. So a vTiger developer wouldn't just connect their email platform, they'd go further and make sure the data flows smoothly. So the sales team can keep track of their leads and build relationships and close deals, and all of that happens right inside of vTiger.
So they're not just like typing code, they're actually coming up with strategies, which kind of makes me wonder what does make them different from a regular developer? Can't just any coder like learn vTiger.
Well, think about it this way. You wouldn't hire a plumber to rewire your house, right? I mean, they're both skilled jobs, but they're totally different, right? And it's kind of the same with vTiger. It has its own structure, its own language, its own, quirks. It's a specialty.
You got a point there. You wouldn't want your CRM springing a leak, would you?
Oh,
So when you're out there looking for a vTiger developer, what kind of skills and qualifications should you like look out for?
the best thing to look at is their past projects. That's gold. You want to see their portfolio and what they've actually done. Have they worked on projects that are similar to what you need? Have they integrated vTiger with systems that you use, like, say, email marketing, accounting software, e-commerce?
It's like checking their resume, but you actually get to see the result.
Exactly. You want to see proof that they can handle the systems that you use. And then, of course, they need those key technical skills, like PHP, MySQL, and a strong grasp of vTiger's APIs.
APIs. Aren't those like the things that let different software programs talk to each other?
Yeah, it's like a universal translator for all your business software. But remember, it's not just about the technical stuff. You also want someone who's good at solving problems and can communicate clearly. Can they take what you need for your business and turn it into a technical solution? Can they explain things in a way that makes sense to both techie people and people who aren't so techie?
I mean, what's the point of having a super smart developer if you can't even understand each other, right?
Exactly. Oh, and one pro tip here, ask them about their experience with data migration. That's a huge GE pain point for a lot of businesses when they're switching to vTiger. And a good, experienced developer can make that whole process way smoother.
That's a really good point. So, okay, we've got the skills down, but let's talk money. What kind of budget should you have in mind when you're looking for a vTiger developer? Does location really matter that much?
Yeah, location does play a role for sure. Like in the US, a full-time vTiger developer could be making, somewhere between $75,000 to $100,000 a year. And of course, that depends on how much experience they have. The more experienced they are, the more they'll probably be making.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what about other places like, say, Europe or Asia?
Well, Europe tends to be a bit less, maybe in the range of, I'd say, $45,000 to $70,000 per year. And then in Asia, you might be looking at like $20,000 to $45,000 per year.
Wow. So there's a pretty big difference depending on where you're looking to hire from. So what about freelance rates then? When does it make sense to go with a freelancer?
Freelancing can be a really good choice if you just have like a one-time project, or if you need someone with a specific skill for a short amount of time. Like if you need help setting up a particular integration, or you have a really complicated customization you need done, or even if you just have a tricky problem that you need help troubleshooting.
So it's like calling in a specialist for a specific vTiger mission.
Exactly. You get the expertise you need for a set amount of time, and then you can move on to the next part of your project. For freelancers in the US, you're probably looking at around $25 to $50 per hour for vTiger work. And then, of course, it could be less in other parts of the world.
Okay, so it's flexible and potentially cheaper. But how do you even begin to find the right freelancer for your vTiger project when there are so many platforms out there?
That's where the perfectdeveloper.com can really help again. They've already vetted tons of developers, so they can match you with someone who has the exact vTiger skills you're looking for, and all within your budget.
So it's like having your own personal recruiter who specializes in finding vTiger experts.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. One of the big decisions when you're hiring any developer is figuring out the best way to work with them. Should you hire them full-time, part-time, or go with a contractor? It's like one of those choose-your-own-adventure books.
It is. And just like in those books, the best path really depends on your specific needs, your budget, and what your long-term goals are for your CRM.
Okay, so let's break it down then. Starting with full-time. When does it make the most sense to hire a full-time vTiger developer?
Well, if vTiger is like the core of your business and you need ongoing support, constant updates, and regular customizations, then having a full-time developer on your team makes a lot of sense.
So they're there with you every step of the way, and they really get to know your systems and how you do things.
Exactly. They become an expert on your business, they understand your workflows, and they can even start suggesting ways to improve and optimize things. It's a true partnership.
That sounds like a great option for companies that rely heavily on their CRM. But what if your needs are more like on and off? Like say you've got a good vTiger setup, but you just need help every now and then with updates, troubleshooting, or making small changes.
Well, that's where part-time can be a really good fit. It's perfect if you have a solid base for your CRM, but you don't need someone working on it all the time. You get the expertise when you need it without having to pay for a full-time employee.
So you're basically just paying for like 10 or 20 hours a week instead of 40, and you get the expert help right when you need it.
Exactly. And then freelancers or contractors, like we were talking about earlier, they're the best choice when you have very specific projects in mind.
So it's like putting together a special vTiger team for a really important mission.
You got it. You figure out exactly what you need done, how long it should take, and what you want the outcome to be. And then the contractor comes in with their expert skills and takes care of it.
So basically, you've got full-time for when you need someone deeply involved, part-time for those times when you just need help here and there, and then freelancers or contractors for those very specific projects.
Right. And remember, theperfectdeveloper.com can help you figure out which option is best for you. They can help you make sense of it all.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this mini deep dive. We've talked about what makes vTiger developers special and all the different ways you can hire them.
And we've talked about how important it is to find a developer who not only has the technical skills, but also understands your business and can communicate clearly.
Because in the end, a CRM is only as good as the people who are using it. And the right vTiger developer can really turn your CRM into something amazing.
Yeah, it's all about making the most of your CRM and turning it into a real strength for your business.
That's it. And that all starts with having the right people. The right vTiger developer can make all the difference.
You said it. And hey, if you're feeling kind of lost with all this vTiger stuff, remember theperfectdeveloper.com is there to help you. They can help you figure out what you need, get your project in order, and find developers who check all the boxes.
Exactly. They make finding the perfect fit so much easier, so you can spend your time on the stuff that matters, like growing your business.
So do you feel a bit more confident about finding your way in the vTiger world now? I mean, we've covered a lot in just a few minutes. We talked about what makes vTiger developers unique, and we looked at all the different ways you can hire them. Yeah, and we talked about how important it is to find a developer who gets the tech stuff and understands what you're trying to do with your business, and someone who can communicate well.
Right, because at the end of the day, your CRM is only as good as the people who are actually using it. And a good vTiger developer can make your CRM do amazing things.
Totally. It's all about using technology to make things run smoother, automate stuff, and build those strong relationships with your customers.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about using the power of vTiger to reach your business goals.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we go, here's something for you to think about. What's one specific challenge that you think you might run into with your vTiger project? If you take a minute to think about that, it'll help you find the perfect developer, someone who can handle it.
That's a great point. Every business is different. They all have their own quirks and things that make them unique. Figuring those out ahead of time can help you find the right developer, someone who can really deal with those specific things.
You got this. Remember the right developers out there waiting to make your vTiger dreams a reality. And if you need some help along the way, ThePerfectDeveloper.com is just a click away, ready to make the perfect match. Try the 5 questions now at ThePerfectDeveloper.com.